Hi, I'm Miss Lainie from howtohelpmychildlearn.com. Today I want to talk to you about auditory processing versus visual processing. I was a child that had auditory processing issues, but through my 22 years of teaching, being a child that was again labeled as having auditory processing issues, I realized that I believe there's no such thing. So I'm going to explain why I say that. And I know a lot of you out there are going to completely disagree with it, but just be open to what I have to hear, especially if you have a child that has been labeled as auditory processing. And I also would have been labeled being a dyslexic child too, but that'll be my next video. So auditory processing. So just to go to 101, what is auditory processing? Auditory processing is obviously when people process through their ears predominantly. Then you have visual processing, which I'm going to make these eyes bigger to show you. These are people, let's give these cuties some hair, who process more through their eyes, as well as the people that are kinesthetic, tactile kids. Use their hands and body to learn. But let's mainly focus on the ear, auditory learners, visual learners. The reason why kids are labeled as having auditory processing issues, I believe, and again, being a child that was labeled that, is because we learn or process either through our eyes or our hands or our body a lot more, or predominantly use those modes, eyes, hands, and body, versus the ears. So we've set up a model where if we don't process through our ears, meaning sitting in a classroom, the teacher talks, we don't understand what's going on because there's no visuals or very little, there's no touching of things and there's no movement, these kids are labeled having auditory processing issues. But in reality, again, being a product of the label auditory processing and a dyslexic label, I cannot see things in my head when they are told to me. So if someone says, what does a 5-letter word, S-H-A-P-E, I have to close my eyes and try to see those in my head. That would be, quote, an auditory processing issue. All I need to do is write it on a piece of paper as it's being said so I can see it, then I'm fine. And I grew up, I went to college, got my master's, I run a family. So the point of this video is I really wish the educational system and you as parents who have children that have been labeled auditory processing to reach out to me and give me your thoughts on it, as well as really think about well, maybe they're a visual learner or a hands-on learner, which is why they don't predominantly use their ears. So I really don't even believe in auditory processing. And so the last thing I want to say is, why don't they say people that are auditory processors have visual processing issues? I mean, that is how ridiculous it is. Why do these people get labeled for not being this type of processor? Why doesn't this person, an auditory person, get labeled for not being a visual, hands-on processor? I think it's really that simple. So, there is my pontification on the auditory processing label, which I don't at all agree with. So I wish you all a really good day, and I am going to address the dyslexic world and my thoughts on that as well. So look forward to that video. I wish you all a really good day, and thank you for watching. I have other videos on my website and my YouTube account. Please feel free to watch them at howtohelpmychildlearn.com. Any questions you have, send my way, and you can get my email right on the homepage of my website. All right, thank you for listening, and I wish you all a good holiday spring break.